to our third session of the Connectional Lay Council Technology and Social Media webinar. This session is going to be on Socially Savvy 101. We're going to focus our attention on managing personal profiles on Facebook, professional pages, groups. We're going to talk about setting up events and also running ads on Facebook. Our next webinar, so you guys can go ahead and register. I have had some people ask about the registration process. We do close the registration about an hour before, and that's when I send the last message. And that's usually because I'm doing like the finishing touches on the presentation and trying to get my whole life together. So I cut off the registration so that I can focus on being ready to start on time so that we can end on time. So if you know people who are interested in participating, ask them to register at least like a day before we get started, and then they'll get all of the email reminders and the link to access it. So if you're one of those people who had to email me about this, trust me, you are not the only one. So don't think that I'm talking about you. We just want to make sure that people register in advance. And then some people may say, well, why do I have to register when you can just send me the link? One of the things that we're trying to do is build up our database. So I'm not going to share your information with any third parties except for the Connectional Lay Council, so that they can keep you informed of other initiatives that they may have going on and that you're interested in. So if they start sending you emails through their email marketing program and you want to opt out, feel free to do so. But that's why we are collecting email addresses, so that we have a database of persons to connect with about events that are going on. So you can go to the CLC Tech 2018.eventbrite.com to register. Also, the people who register for the webinars, on the day after the webinar, I send out a copy of the video presentation as well as the PowerPoint presentation. So that's another benefit of registering. You get the those materials. So I cannot thank the Connectional Lay Council enough. President Mary Matthews, Ms. Leandra Davis, for tapping me, for trusting in me to provide this series. This is the third. We did Technology 101, where we discussed the basics of technology. And then last month, we worked on graphic design. And I hope that everyone has been able to use the information that we've shared so far. So tonight, we're going to talk about using Facebook. As I said, we're going to look at personal pages, groups, professional pages, events, and ads. So does anyone have any questions before we jump right in? You can use the question and answer feature, or you can use the chat box if you have any questions before we get started, or if there's anything in particular that you would like to make sure that we address. Nope. All right. Works for me. Give me just a second. Okay, so we're going to start out with our personal pages. So I think most of you indicated in the poll that you have a personal page. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on personal pages, because I'm going to assume, unless someone asks a question, that you all know how to use the personal pages. But some of the really cool things that we can do on our personal page, we can post content, we can post videos and photos. You can go live. We've seen a lot of people going live lately for a lot of various reasons. I would suggest that if you decide to go live, make sure that you manage your background, make sure that you manage any noises around you, make sure that you have a clear image of yourself, so that it's not like in a really dark room or it's not too bright. And then have like some type of format. So if you're gonna go live, like know what you're gonna say and be prepared to kind of get it out there. Live is not one of those platforms that's meant for you to just ramble on, because then people are going to click out. I've seen some worship services where people have gone live to broadcast the worship services, or if they're at an event and they want to share what's happening. So again, just make sure that you know you have good audio and you have good video when you decide to go live. Sharing, Facebook is a platform that was created largely for sharing. So you can share events, you can share with or without comments, and I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. You can also create polls. So if you decide, you know, hey, I'm thinking about doing X, Y, and Z, and I want to know what people think about it. Is that something that they're going to support? Then you can create a poll for that. And then you can also check into locations. So let's take a look at our Facebook. What can we do? So this often comes up if you're on the home screen. So right now, I'm on my personal profile page. So if you click on your name, then it takes you to your personal profile page. If you click on the home button, then that takes you to your news feed. So you can click to edit your profile here, change your picture, have a cover photo. So some people are like, well, how do I get a good cover photo? Well, in our last session, we talked about Canva. So you can come over to Canva, and there should be, if you want to create a design, then you can go down, and I have so many windows open, it's not going to show all the images, but you can go down to creating a Facebook event cover, which we'll talk about in a second, and creating a Facebook cover. So if you have an image that you want to use or what have you, you can go into Canva and you can create a cover for your Facebook page. This was actually just an image that I pulled offline that describes a lot of what I do with web design, and that was the service that I was promoting at the time. I'll change out my banner just depending on what events I'm promoting at the time. You can also see your bio. So if you want to have like a short introduction, you want to change that, you click on the little blue pencil and you're able to edit. And then in here, well, if you click on these three little dots, well, here we go. So if you look down here, if you want to create a poll, you can click on poll. If you want to tag an event that you're going to and say something about it, support a nonprofit. So you'll see if you click on those three little dots at the bottom, it opens up all the other options that are available to you. And then if you want to go live, then you can just click on the live video and then it'll make that happen. So again, I think most people are pretty familiar with the Facebook page. Do we have any questions before we move on? Because I don't want to spend too much time on this part if we don't need to. Let me check the chat. All right, so we are good to go. So next we're going to look at groups. So some people may say, okay, well, what's the difference? Why would I want to have a group? With groups, you are able to add members. So unlike a page where someone has to request to be your friend, or unlike a business page where you have to invite people to accept, with groups, you can just add people. That's very frustrating to some people, but it can also be very beneficial. So if you know that you have, like, let's say 15 people who are part of your young adult ministry, and you want to add them to a special group, then you can add them to the group, and then people can request to join the group. Groups can be public or they can be private. So if it's a public group, what's it, open or closed, I think is what they call it. If it's an open group, then if someone types the name in the search bar, then they're able to find it. But if it's a closed group, then you would have to give them the actual URL, or you would have to give them the link for them to go to that group, because they're not going to be able to just find it. So with your groups, you're able to share content, create events, pin important information to the top, view insights, and then link to other groups that you manage. So let's take a look at that. So we're going to go to the Yakim group. That's a group that I'm an administrator on. Again, you can change the cover photo. So if you want to add, if you want to create a photo that maybe has a picture of your church or that has a picture of your ministry, and then you want to have like your name on it, then you can do that and upload it. And then you can, of course, tell people what your group is about. You can, over here is where you add members. So if you want to add people who are a part of your network, then if you just type like the first letter, then different people will come up, and then you can decide if you want to add them. And then you'll see that if it's someone who's already a member, then you don't have to invite them again. So if you know people that you want to add to the group, then you just start typing their name, and then it'll come up, and then you can add them to the group. And then of course, you can't get mad if people decide that they want to leave the group after you add them, because it is their choice. But it does allow you to add people. And then right here, you can add a little note. So if you want to tell them what the group is about and why you're inviting them, then you can write a note. And then that same note will go to all of the people that you're inviting. Let's see. And then if you click here on more, you can link to an existing group. So one of the things that this group has done is, because I'm an administrator on the South Central Region group as well as the Connectional group, then the two groups are linked. And so that means that they're able to share information with each other. So you'll see that Dr. McCorn posted a link in the South Central Regional group, but it's also been seen in the Yakim group because they are linked together. So but you have to be the administrator on both groups. So you can't just link to someone's arbitrary group, or someone can't link to your group. You have to have administrative controls to be able to do that. And then if you want to see the members of your group, then you can definitely come through and look in here. You'll be able to see who your moderators are, who have administrator control, and then all of the members. So if you need to send a message to someone, then you can click here if you want to make them an administrator or make them a moderator. So an administrator basically has all permissions. A moderator is just able to approve new members or to approve different posts. And then if you find that someone is like spamming your group or they shouldn't be there, you can remove them from the group. Or if you don't want to remove them, but they're just posting, too much, or they're posting inappropriate material, then you can mute the person. So that is under members. Then if you want to create events, which we're definitely going to talk about that when we get to the next section, but you can create events through your group as well. And then it'll send an invitation to all of the people who are in the group. This is actually an event that we shared, and then it was added to our event calendar. And then one of the really cool things is group insights. So if you want to know how is your group doing, have we had any new members? How many likes and comments have we had? Who are our top contributors? So if you want to know how your group is doing, then you can click on Group Insights, and then you can track your growth for the past 28 days. You can do for the past 7 days. You can do custom. So that will help you to figure out, who are the top contributors, what type of information are people. I'm sorry, I'm reading and talking at the same time. So you can get more engagement details, so you can see what types of posts are people interested in, or when are people most active on your page. What are the most popular days? So we see that our most popular day is Tuesday. So that tells me that that's probably the best day to make posts. And then people are usually online in the evenings. So you can schedule your posts as well. So if I know that most people are online in my group on Tuesday in the evenings, then if I have something important to say, then I'm probably going to want to schedule it for Tuesday or maybe Thursday in the evening. And then we can see who has the top post. So Dr. McCorn made a post. It got 244 views. 13 people liked it. For this webinar flyer, we had 199 views, and then 9 people liked it. So you're able to see what posts people are actually engaging with. That's very important, because if you're trying out, let's say doing some images, and then you're trying out video, and you're trying text, and you're trying to see what people are going to engage with the most, you can come over to your group insights, click on engagement, and then you're able to see what's actually working. What are people responding to? I feel like a lot of times we want people to respond the way we want them to, instead of saying, hey, let's check it out. Let's see, what do people want to get from us? Let's see, we looked at that. And then if you want to turn notifications on, I was getting way too many notifications, so I turned it off. But if you want to get highlights, if you want to get notifications when friends make a post or when everything is posted, then you can turn your notifications on here. And then, of course, you'll see that this is a public group. So if you wanted to change it, I think you have to go into your settings to actually change that. And we're not going to go into the settings of this group. But you can change whether or not it's a public group or a closed group. If you don't have a group and you want to create a group, then you'll see the create group little icon on pretty much any group that you go to, which will allow you to create your own group. Any questions? Nope, you guys following along? Wonderful. So the next thing that we will look at are Facebook business pages. So some people say, well, what's the difference between having a group and having a business page? Well, a business page is more focused. So a group is, I would like to consider it just like a social club, whereas your business page is like a business. It is designed to help you drive traffic. So you'll have you can create buttons on there where there may be buttons for people to purchase, buttons for people to get directions, a button for people to book you. There's usually a button on there that has some type of call to action, of course. And then it also allows you to share your contact information. So you'll see on the groups, there wasn't a place for you to put your contact information. All right, Ms. Baskerville has a question. Let me figure out how to get to you. So can you type your question in the question and answer box, Ms. Baskerville? And then I'll answer it. Sorry, that's my son. Okay, so with the business pages, you can publish job postings. So like, let's say, you have an open position at the church. One of my clients, and I'm an administrator on his page, he posted for a job, and I've seen a lot of people submit resumes through Facebook, and he's been able to contact them to schedule interviews. You can also boost posts, create ads, and then manage insights. So let's go and take a look at that, at what that looks like. All right. Okay, so again, you can create a cover for your page. Unlike the group, you can have a cover, and then you can also have a profile picture. So when you post from your business page, then just like on your personal page, then your profile picture will actually show up. This is the call to action button that I was telling you about. So you can change your button. So if you want to have a button that does something different, then you say, okay, what type of button do you want? Do you want people to make a donation? Do you want people to download something? Do you want them to join your community? Do you want them to contact you? You can decide what you want your button to do. And then we come down here. Of course, you have, you know, information about yourself. Here you can put photos to tell your story, more about who you are. Then it gives you some insight. How many people did you reach this week? How many people viewed whatever videos you have? So as you see with the Facebook business page, it gives you more information about how your page is doing. Then, as I said, you can invite people to like your page. So unlike the group feature where you just add people, you invite your friends to be a part of it. And then down here is where you'll see that you can add your phone number. You can add an address. I don't have my address on here because I work from home. You can have your website address on here. And again, this is a feature that's not on the groups, but that's on the Facebook page. So if we look over here to the left-hand side, well, now let's go here first. So just like with your personal page and with your groups, you can share a photo, you can start a live video, but then you can also get messages, get phone calls. You can do a lot more with the business page than you can actually do with the groups or with your personal page, because the goal is to get you business. I always tell people, make sure that you get a custom URL for whatever your page is going to be, so that if someone's looking for me on Facebook for my business page, then they go to MS Lakeisha Womack. If they're looking for my personal page, then it's just Lakeisha Womack. So being able to allow people to differentiate between the two helps them to decide which page they want to get to. We thank you for 500 people. Here you'll see it gives you like some of your analytics. I haven't been posting very much on this page, but whatever was posted reached 122 people. So we can look in and see what it was. And it was a link that I shared from my personal page. And so 122 people saw that. We can control like the book appointment feature. If you want to blog, then you can do that through your Facebook business page, create events, offer your services. So here is where I have a list of services that I offer. And so if I am typing in my in a post and I want to reference a service, then it will hyperlink that service, and then it will go directly to the service page so that people can see more about the services. You can have a shop, so if you want people to be able to buy through your page, you can do that as well. You can make offers and then jobs, just like we said before. So we're gonna look at, so let's say we create a post, then you can also boost your post. So by clicking to boost your post, what does that mean? That you can say, well, I'm gonna post, but I don't just want people that I know to be able to see this post. I want it to reach more people. So you can say, okay, I want to reach people who are 24 to 55, and you can go to people who like your page and their friends. So typically only people who like your friends will see it. By boosting it, then that ensures that a larger number of those people will see it, because it gives you a more prominent placement. But if you want to create a new audience, then you can determine, you know, is this a post? If you have a women's ministry and you just want women who are between the ages of 24 and we'll say 65 and over, and if you're in Charlotte, then you have an event coming up and you know that you only want to reach people who are in Charlotte, then you can say people in Charlotte, North Carolina. Then if you want to add interest, so it could be knitting. Let's say we're starting a knitting club. Then it'll find people who are interested in knitting. And we'll see that there are not very many women in Charlotte who are interested in knitting. It says that our estimated audience is too small. So we would need to find another interest, which is crazy because that's like 65 million people. So I think that's because of our budget. So you can set up the interest that you want. You can set the location that you want, and then you can set the gender that you want. So we're gonna take out knitting for whatever reason. So once we do that, what else does it want from us? Then you'll have your demographics, and then you'll be able to create a budget. So, oh, we don't have an ad. So if you want your boost budget to be $30, then that would help us to reach the I think it was about 500,000. Okay, so you go here and you can create whatever budget. So if you only want to spend $10, like let's say we're only trying to reach, oh, we gotta set our, so if you want to run it for one day and you only want to spend $10, why? Okay, and you only want to spend $10, then it will calculate about how many people that you're going to reach, and that's what it's working on right there. So you can play around with that feature, and that's if you want to just boost a post. So that's not really going through the whole process of creating an ad, but that's like if you are posting something, an event, or an upcoming I don't know, like because I want to think of something other than an event that you might want to boost. So for me, it's usually like a service that I'm offering or something that I think is really interesting and I want more people to see, then I will boost that post. So you may say, okay, well, what's the point? Like, how does that really help me? Well, you can look at your insights. So insights, we saw those also with the groups, but the insights for the pages are a little more detailed. And it shows you the difference between organic reach and then paid reach. So organic is just who does your page connect with naturally, like who just naturally finds your material. And then paid are the people who you actually paid to get connected with. So you'll see that for some of the posts that I've spent money on, I spent $18.50 to reach 1,226 people and got 6 people to click on it. So considering I only have 500, and I think I had less than 500 friends because this was back in October, by spending $18, I was able to reach 1,300 people, and then 6 people clicked on the actual button. Here, I spent $30 and was able to reach 2,400 people, and my goal was to get engagement, to get people to either like or comment. And so 81 of those people actually did what I wanted them to do. And so when you create your ads or your boost, then it's going to ask you, what is your goal? Are you trying to get people to click on a button? Are you trying to get them to like the post? What is it that you want them to do? And since these are boosted posts, I wanted them to engage with the post. And so for about $30, I don't remember what the demographic was that I selected, but I was able to get 81% and then 81 people and then 52 people to actually engage. So it even breaks down your most recent posts. Again, it gives you your organic, and then if there had been some pay, then it'll show you, because I didn't pay for any of those, what the difference would be between the organic and then the paid reach. And so these were all organic posts, and then it shows you how many people they reached. So considering I spent no money on these posts, you can see the difference between spending $30 and then spending no dollars and reaching 122 people versus reaching 2,400. So sometimes, you're asking yourself, well, how can we get more people to our events? Or how can we get more people in the community engaged in what we're doing? Well, instead of spending, $50 on some flyers, why not take that $50 and do a 2-week ad promotion using social media so that you can target the city or even the zip code? You can get that specific where you target the people that you want to reach, and then you using Canva, again, coming over here, using some of these templates to design a really nice flyer, and then you post it. You add your $30 or $50 or however much your budget is, and you can run it for 2 weeks. If your event is a month from now, you can run it for a month. The longer you run it, of course, the more money you're going to need. I say typically $5 a day should get you some nice results. And then and I think that's about it for the insights. Here you can play around with some of the data that you're able to see. So if you have a social media ministry and they are working on helping to drive engagement, or like let's say you decide that you're going to hire an intern and you want them to work on your social media and you want to see, well, how are they doing compared to how we did last month? Then you'll be able to come in here and run a report, and you can see, okay, over the last, month, have we gotten more page views? Has our reach increased? You'll see, because I haven't done hardly any social media on my business page, that I shared one post and I was up like 19,000%. It's not a very good thing, but this will help you to judge like how effective your social media strategy is going. And then if you're using different graphics, you're also able to look here and figure out, what types of graphics do people respond to. Obviously, this Every Business Needs a Business Plan was one of my most successful posts, because not only did it reach more people, but more people actually engaged with it. So do we have any questions as we're looking at the Facebook business page? All right. So next we'll look at, we have a question. When you're the admin of a page and you go to like a post and the light shows up from the entity, but you want it to show up as you like in the post, is there a way to change that? Yes, there is. And I'm going to, okay. So let's go to my feed. And so you would have to select how you're using, where is it? I think, no, that's not it. All right, it should allow you to select like how you're using Facebook ads, and I have to remember where that is. Let me find that and I will send you the answer, because I thought it showed up in here.
Oh my God! It's
a freaking
ambulance.
I know.
Oh shoot! No.
Sorry, that was some background noise from my son. But Facebook has obviously changed, because there was a time when if I was going to like something, I could click on my profile and then it would change to whichever admin I was operating under. So it could be my personal page, it could be my business page, or one of the business pages. Okay, I'll definitely get that information to you. Thank you. So do we have any other questions? And just to show you a couple of things over here. So if you're managing several different pages, then all the pages that you're managing will show up over here, and then you can open them all. So I think you can, and then you're able to go to those different pages just by clicking on it. So that's kind of like a shortcut. And then you're able to see, let me see, this might be, okay. And then you're able to see all of the different pages. So if you want to create a new page, then on the left-hand side, then you'll see you can create a page, you can create a group, you can create an event, you can create a fundraiser. I'm not talking about fundraisers tonight just because I haven't done any of those and I don't have that experience. But if someone has and they want to share some information with us, then I would love to receive that. And then you can also send money through Facebook. So if you want to see some of the cool features that you're able to use, then you just look on the left-hand side and literally explore. And then if there are some groups that you go to on a regular basis or pages that you go to, then you can edit your shortcuts so that those come up first instead of you having to always go and search for them. So I think that's that. All right. All right, so next we're looking at events. So you can create events through your personal page, through your business page, through your group, or just go to the Create an Event tab. There are tons of places for you to create an event. You can make your event public or private. You can make your event your personal page, your business page. You can sell tickets for your event. You can get people to co-host with you. You can share, and then you can invite guests. So it makes it really easy for you to promote something that you may have coming up. So, and then it also shows you a calendar of events. These are typically events that your friends are going to or things that you've shown interest in, and then it'll have suggestions for you. And then events that are similar to something that you may have already said that you were interested in. So like this is a group that's going to see the Black Panther premiere. And so it shows me that. And then you're able to say, okay, I'm interested, not quite sure if I'm gonna go, or you can click I'm not going and then it won't show up, or you can click that, so you'll see that there's a little tab here that shows I'm interested or not interested. So if we want to create a group, again, we can create a private event. Only invited guests will see your event, and you can choose to let guests see their friends, or you can create a public event. Anyone will be able to see your event and search for it, even if they're not your friends. So like, let's say you're planning a dinner party and you want to make sure that all of your friends who are on Facebook know the details, then you can create a private group, and that way when someone does a search for it, then they won't find it. Or if you're having an event at the church and you want everybody to know about it, then you would want to create a public event. So you decide who's going to be the host, and again, these are the million pages that I'm an admin on. Then you select that person. Then again, we can create an event photo. So going back to Canva, you can do a Facebook event cover. So that's going to be the main image on your event. So it'll automatically populate whatever is the cover photo on the page that you chose, but you can always change it. And then you want to name your event. You can put in a location, so that way people will have the address. Make sure that the address is correct. I decided to go to an event that someone had posted on Facebook, used Facebook for the address, got to the location. There were only 4 cars in the parking lot. And me and all 4 of the people are looking around like, where's everybody else? Well, they had decided to change the address. and they posted it in the event, but they didn't change the location of the event. So you definitely don't want to do that, because that can discourage people from coming to your event again. I was not a happy camper. You can have an event that occurs daily, weekly, a custom event. You can put the start and the end time. And of course, you want to have details. So what category? So just like we see with the suggestions come from, are people interested in causes in your area? Are people interested in dance, drinks, film, what have you? So you select a category, and then that helps them recommend it to other people, as well as adding keywords. And then, is your event kid friendly? Not everything is kid friendly, but if it's something that kids are going to be a part of, then you want to select that. Then if you're selling tickets, so if you want people to purchase, whether it's through your website or if it's through Eventbrite or what have you, then you can put the link here, and then it'll give people the option to buy tickets. And then co-host. So like, let's say you decide that I want to make my co-host my personal page. Then I can select my personal page to be my co-host, and then my business page is the event host. And then you'll see right here, it says pending, because that means that someone has to accept that they're the co-host. So you can't just make somebody a co-host of your event. They have to actually accept that. And then you can decide, like, do you want people to post in the event? Anyone can post, but they must be approved. So you and whoever has co-hosting permissions will be able to approve those posts. Or if you can just let anybody post, you don't want to have to approve them. Whatever goes up, goes up. Or if only hosts can post. So that means that only you and then the people that you tag as co-hosts are able to host. And then you can decide if you want to display the guest list. So do you want people to know who else is planning on coming? So once you fill out all of these features, then you can decide if you want to create it now or if you want to schedule it for later. So like, let's say you're like me, and sometimes you're up at 12 o'clock at night and you are doing stuff online, but you know that people are usually on your page on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. And if you can wait till Tuesday at 6 o'clock and you want to schedule your event for that date, then you would just click on schedule, and then it will go live on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Or like, let's say you have to get approval from your board before you post it, but you have some free time and so you wanted to create it. Then you can save it as a draft so that it doesn't get published now or at a future date, but you're just saving it, and then you can go back and publish it at another time. So, do we have any questions about events? Public events or private events? And this is cool. With private events, you can choose like a little theme. Information is pretty much the same, but you don't get a co-host, only your event. And then here you can decide if guests can invite friends. And because it's a private event, you may not want people inviting other people, so you get to make that decision. Any questions? Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, we have about 15 minutes to go, and we're going to go into ads. So ads, I noticed in the polling that not a lot of people are using ads. Let me check just to be sure. Yeah, so we have 3 people using ads out of the 17 people who answered the poll. So that means that we have some questions that we can hopefully answer. So the first thing you want to do is choose your objective. Like I showed you on my business page, you want to decide what is it that you want people to do. Are you trying to get them to like it? Are you trying to get them to buy something? Are you trying to get them to engage? What is your goal? And then you'll look at your audience, your placement, schedule, and budget, and then actually creating the ad. So unlike our boosted post, because a boosted post is something that you've already created and you just want it to go out to more people. An ad campaign is more targeted. So that means that you have to actually do a little bit of work to figure out, all right, what are we trying to do? So like, let's say we want to build brand awareness. Okay, we're going to build brand awareness, and then it's going to give us some little options down here. So we name our campaign. We'll say we want to name it brand awareness. We want to decide how much we're going to spend. So our campaign spend limit. What is it? So like, let's say our limit's going to be $100. So then we are going, so you'll see over here, it shows you how you're progressing along that list. So next we're going to look at who is our audience. So again, if we're looking at, we want to attract people who are between the ages of 22 and 40. And I use that because I guess you guys know I work with Yakum. Young adults are my thing. We want to do 22 to 40. And then target ads to people who know your business. So say, not really. We want to look at everyone who lives in this location. So we'll keep that. We want to look at people who are in the Charlotte area. So then we'll select the Charlotte city, and so this gives us our ad name. So we put in our demographics down here. So we have 18, and we want to go 22. And I always tell people, like, you really can't break this, like, until you hit submit, and they're going to make sure that that you're sure before you submit payment, because they don't want you coming back saying that you're not paying for the ad. So you can't break this. So, you know, you can play around with it until you get it right. Connection type. So do you want people who like your page, people who are friends of people who like your page, or if you don't want people who like your page? So like, let's say it's like, all right, the 500 people I have, like, I'm good with them. I don't need to promote to them. I want to find people who don't like my page, a whole new set of people. So if you want to exclude people who like your page, then we're going to put in the Lakeisha Womack page. And let's say I want to put in some other pages, but for now we're just going to exclude that one. And then you can save the audience. Then you can say automatic placement, or do you want to edit where you're placing it? I suggest if you're just getting started, do the automatic placement. And then for your daily budget. So like, let's say your daily budget is going to be $5. You want to run your ad continuously until you've spent your whole whatever your budget is. Then, and I think we set our spending limit at $100. So that means our ad would run for 20 days. Or if you have a specific date in mind. So you say, okay, I want to start on the 8th, and then I want it to end, let's say, next Friday, because that's when my event is that Saturday. So I won't need an ad anymore after that. So you can set it for that number of days, and then it's going to show you, like, at $5 a day, you're going to spend no more than $40. And then they'll optimize your ads, so you can read through all of that. You can decide if you want that. Oh, we have a question. I don't know if my connection or not, but the sound is coming in and out, thereby catching some words and other words are not being heard. Is anyone else having a problem with the audio? And I can turn the volume up just a little bit. I was so hopefully that will help. And if y'all have any problems, feel free to put it in the Q&A box. Doing the screen share, I wasn't able to figure out how to get to the people who raised their hand. So I apologize for that. So please text in the Q&A box if you have any questions. Okay. So yeah, so you can go through this this process to help you figure out who you're trying to target. So if your church says, all right, you know, we want to do an outreach and we want to have an event for seniors, and we want to figure out, you know, what seniors are on Facebook, and we want to get them to like our page, then you can set a budget, and your budget might be $20. You can set a budget of $20 where you're going to create an ad just for your singles ministry that allows you to reach the people who are in that zip code. Let's see if it does it by zip code also. Yeah, so you can even do it by zip code. So if you want to go with the zip code that's around your church so that you have a very targeted market, then you're more likely to get a better bang for your buck, because you're not shooting at a large target, you're shooting at a more defined target. So as you go through this process, then the next part will be, it's probably going to tell me I need to fill in more info. All right, what do we have? What software do you use to compress and then post large videos to a Facebook page? You would need to probably post your video to YouTube, upload it to YouTube, and then share the YouTube link in order to do that. I think the only issue that you might have is with the music, because Facebook is really protective of music that's copyrighted. So some people have been able to post, I do not own the rights to this music, and then Facebook will allow it to stand. But then I've also heard some people say that they posted that and then Facebook still required them to take it down. So if you have a large video file, then you would want to probably add it to your YouTube channel and then post a link to your Facebook page. Because I don't think that Facebook hosts a large amount of data, but they will allow you to share a large amount, if that makes sense. All right, so if you have an Instagram, so now we're on the ad part, your identity. So so this is asking, well, all right, so who is this ad for? Hey, we have another question. You couldn't get the chat box a few minutes ago. So the chat box, and because I'm not on that screen, I can't see what the chat box feature is. But if you want to post something in the chat box, feel free, or you can just post it here. How do you pay for the ads? Great question. So you will have, okay, so chat box. If you can't get to the chat box feature, feel free to just post your question in here, even if it's something that we went over a little bit earlier, and I'll answer it for you. How do you pay for the ads? After you go through this whole process, then they are going to ask you for their money. So you will have to set up an account with them. Because I have a PayPal account with them, then I connect it to my PayPal, and then at the end of the ad period, so like let's say I authorize $20 for a 5-day ad. Then at the end of that ad period, because they do something called pay-per-click. So I may say I want to spend $5 per day, but if I only get $3.61 per worth of click-throughs, then for that day, they're only going to charge me $3.61. But I will have to tell you, they do find a way to use up the whole amount that you have, that you set as your budget. But after you set up this whole process, then you will have to set up an account for your payment. And let me see if it's in here. No, it's not. And so it's probably going to be like in your settings, billing. So right over here, this is where you would put your credit card information in, and then once the ad has finished running, then it will charge you. All right. So here you'll go through what do you want your ad to look like, and you've probably seen a lot of different ads that show up in the middle of your feed, and then you have some. This will do the ads that are like on the side. I don't remember. But if you want to have like more than one image or video, then you'll see like the carousel option. If you're just posting a single image, a single video, or some type of slideshow. So you'll say, okay, what do I want it to look like? And then you'll be able to enter whatever text. Then you can see what does the ad look like on mobile phones? What does it look like on a desktop? What does it look like in articles? So it'll show you all the different ways that people can see your ad. And so this one, so it'll say, okay, so this ad is not the ad format is not currently supported on feature phones. So that's good to know, because that means that I might not want to run that type of ad because people who have a feature phone wouldn't be able to see it. So this allows you to see all the different ways that your ad will be viewed. This is your text. So you'll see that this text here is what shows up right here. So this says, since we chose the carousel view, that they're going to show the one that people like the most is going to show up first. So they'll automatically do that. Then add a card at the end with your page profile picture. So that's an option that you can select. So you can add images, you can add videos to your slideshows. And then they're asking, all right, so well, we need a headline. So say bye. I can't spell. Bye now. It's going to be our headline. And then description. You're going to add that. And if you want to add a destination. So where are we trying to get people to go? So you'll see that everything changes in real time. So as we're making these changes, then people can actually see it. So the buy now is showing up down here. And then they're making the hyperlink to go in here. And then if you want a call to action, so our call to action is going to be book now. So you'll see that the button shows up here. So if you want people to buy something, you want them to order, you want them to schedule, whatever, then you use that button. And then they'll also, since it's a page, be invited to like the page. So anyone who kind of scrolls by and they see it and like, I don't want to buy or I don't want to book, but I do want to like the page. And they can automatically do that from your ad. And then you'll see right here, it'll show that it's sponsored. So sometimes you'll see that and you'll know that this is something that's paid. And that's how it ended up on my timeline, because someone paid to target people like me. So, and then of course, once you confirm, then they're going to review your ad. And so they're going to, which is very interesting considering like how the Russians got away with all those ads, but they will review the ad and then they'll tell you if it's been approved. And that normally takes like less than an hour. You'll get feedback. And if there's something that they think that you need to change, then they'll let you know and then you can fix it and resubmit it. But once you click confirm, then it goes to the company and then they're able to start reviewing. So I know it's hard to believe, but it's been an hour already. So if you all have any questions, feel free to type them in the Q&A box and I will stick around for a few minutes to answer those. If not, feel free to go to the, I didn't put the link on there. Feel free to go to the clctech2018.eventbrite.com to register for our March session, where we're going to do Socially Savvy 201, and we're going to talk about the who, what, when, where, and why of Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, we're talking about all of these in the context of ministry. So if you want to use those platforms for your ministry, then that's what we're going to focus on in March. And then in April, we're going to move to email marketing. And then in May, we will be talking about websites. what are some of the basics that you need to know about having a website for your church or your ministry. So again, any questions, you can also email me. So if you don't feel like answering in the asking in the Q&A box, or if you gotta run, then feel free to send me an email, info@womackcg.com, and I will try to answer any questions that you have. I've gotten quite a few requests from people just about technology issues that they're having, and if I'm able to help, then I will definitely provide you with resources or see what I can do to help you out, because we all get better together. So you are very welcome. Thank you so much for attending tonight. 9 o'clock, you all are free unless you want to hang around and ask some questions.